Welcome to Lesson 10. In this lesson, we will have a look at events and logging, and we'll finish our dummy token ERC20 implementation. So what are events? Events enable the usage of the Ethereum virtual machine logging facilities. These events can then be used in JavaScript callbacks in the user interface of a decentralized application which listens to these events. In other words, events are dispatch signals the smart contracts can fire, and your application can listen to these events and act accordingly. When events are called, they cause the event arguments to be stored in the transactions log, a special data structure in the blockchain. These logs are associated with the address of the contract and will be incorporated into the blockchain and stay there as long as a block is accessible. As of now, due to how blockchain is implemented, this is forever, so the logs stay in the blockchain forever. This might change in the future implementations of Ethereum. Now let's go to the terminal and copy the code from the previous lesson by typing copy recursively lesson 9 dummy token truffle, and we copy it in our current repository. And now let's go to this repository and open it with our text editor of choice. For me, that's Sublime. Now let's open the dummy token, which doesn't have the events implemented yet. What it has now is the declarations for these events. Now all we need to do is to emit these events once they happen. So the approval event happens once the approve function is called. So we need to call this approval event simply by typing approval and then pass all these parameters to this event. So in this case, the owner is the message sender. This is because this is the person who called this function and who approves the tokens to be spent. The spender is the spender parameter we got passed to this approve function, and the value is the value parameter. So now what happens is that each time this approve function gets called and it doesn't return false, the approval event will be called, and we will be able to catch this event from our decentralized application, for example. We will see how it works in a minute. Now we also need to implement the transfer event. So let's do that. We will need to implement it in two places, in the transfer and transfer from function. So in the transfer function, the sender is the message sender. This is the person who is sending the tokens. The receiver is the to parameter, and the amount of tokens is value parameter. Now let's do the same in the transfer from function, but in this case the sender is the from parameter. And this is it. We got our events ready. Now let's go back to the terminal and compile and deploy this contract by typing compile, truffle compile. Compilation was successful. Now deploy this contract by typing truffle deploy. You can also use truffle migrate. And as you can see, we don't have our test RPC node running. So let's go to the new terminal window and type test RPC. And now that's ready. So let's deploy again. So as you can see, deployment has been successful. Now let's type Truffle Console. And now we are in the Truffle Console. As always, the first thing we need to do is to retrieve an instance of our smart contract. We do it like so. Dummy token deployed, then function instance app equals instance. Now let's type app, and we can see that it has been deployed. Sorry, not deployed. We retrieved the instance successfully. Now let's declare some accounts for convenience like previous time. So account 1 equals web3.eth.accounts. Now all of these accounts hold 0 tokens, so let's mine some for account 1. Let's mine 5 or let's mine 7 tokens just to be safe. Now also let's mine some tokens from account 2. Let's just mine 2 coins, that's enough. And now let's transfer some coins from account 1 to account 2. And we transfer 2 coins from account 1. And we can see these logs, which we didn't see before in our previous lesson. And what this is, as I mentioned in this lesson, this is the special data structure in the blockchain. And this data structure stores the event being transmitted. So the event in this case is transfer event, because we just transferred some tokens and we are emitting this event from our code here at line 25. And we can also see the address. In this case, address responds to our smart contract address, and the transaction hash and the block hash are the hashes of where the event has been mined. Now let's check the balances of account 1 and account 2 just to make sure that everything is alright. So account 1 holds 5 tokens and account 2 holds 4 tokens. That's fine. So now what do we do with these events? Why are they useful at all? So one of the things we can do with them is if we are creating some kind of decentralized application, for example, which uses Ethereum virtual machine as a data storage, we can keep track of these events and do something accordingly once an event is transmitted. And we declare these events by typing var transfer event equals app transfer from block 0 to block latest, and then we watch for this event by typing watch function, and then we'll receive 2 parameters, error and event. And then we console log the event and the event arguments. Now what this did just now is it caught all the events that happened up till now. So since only one transfer event has been transmitted, we only have one event here. But now if we do transfer again, for example, we will be able to see that this new event has been caught, where 2 tokens have been transmitted from this account to this account, and it has been transmitted or mined at this transaction, which hash we can see here. Now we can stop listening to this event by typing transfer event stop watching, and it returns true. So now if we do another transfer, as you can see, last time we got some events caught and console logged into this terminal. This time we don't do anything. The event is still transmitted, but we are not catching it using the function to which the transfer event refers to. Now one thing I didn't explain is what this is. So this parameter, it allows to filter events by some kind of parameter, such as the address, which is sending the tokens, for example, and the from block and to block simply specifies in which blocks to listen to the events being transmitted. So in this case, all the events from block 0 to the latest block, so the entire blockchain is being listened to these events. Now let's try to do the same for approve event by typing var approve event equals approval Now we have our approve event listener ready. Now let's approve one token to be transmitted from account 1 by account 2. So we allow account 2 to spend 1 coin from account 1. And here we go, we have this event being caught. Great. Now if we go back to our dummy token code, you will see that it's finally fully ERC20 compliant. Congratulations on that, we have all the functions and all the events ready. In the next lesson, we are going to talk about inheritance and polymorphism. I'll see you there.